Luca was 4 years old when he was officially diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and 6 months later we started ABA. Luca's background is a little complicated, and like I guess a lot of children on the spectrum, he did have some other diagnosis as well. So as well as trying to sift through his problems due to hearing impairment and also global developmental delay, we also had a lengthy wait for an assessment as well. So that's part of the reason why his diagnosis was a little delayed. We did have concerns about his behaviour probably from around 2 years of age, and I guess a lot of that time we put it down to his severe hearing impairment and his traumatic start to life. And whenever we did raise the concerns, we were told that that's all part and parcel of his start to life. The flag was raised probably when he was about 3.5. He was receiving early intervention for his hearing impairment from Tara Lee, and they were seeing signs that led us to the diagnosis. It was really good to have that outside perspective, because it's very difficult when you're living day by day, getting through the struggles that you're faced with a child with autism and other challenges. So it was good to have an outside perspective that helped us see things objectively. Luca's 6 now, so we've been doing ABA for nearly 2 years. 2 years ago, Luca had very little language, and what language, what language he did have was mainly babble and echolalia. So he'd just parrot back what we said to him. He had a lot of repetitive play, so he'd lie on the ground, push his trains back and forward, and just watch for as long as we'd let him. He had a lot of vocal outbursts. He was very loud and made a lot of strange noises, and he could be difficult as well. Well, where do we start? Luca's learning has just blossomed in the last 2 years. His language, his speech, his articulation, it's released his imagination, his imaginative play and his role play, where once they were his weakness, I would now consider them a strength. His self-control and self-awareness has improved, and that's helped him assimilate and integrate into a mainstream school system now, which is something that we really weren't sure that he was going to be able to do. Socially, it's helped him communicate, and his general knowledge has been applied to social situations now, so he's able to converse and keep up with his peers. And he's also he's more tolerant and more flexible, definitely. That repetitive behaviour has decreased dramatically also. We had friends whose son was doing ABA, and we had all noticed the dramatic improvements that he had shown. So we did some research also on credible internet sites, and it soon became apparent that ABA was one of the only evidence-based, scientifically researched and showing positive results, and so it became pretty apparent that that would be the path we chose. Well, as a family, it's given us a support system. We have a team that are travelling the journey with us, so we have people that we are in constant contact with. We can share information, we can seek advice, and they're all devoted to helping Luca reach his potential along with the family. The way Luca sees ABA is that it's fun, it's play, he enjoys it, it's given him a lot of enjoyment. And when we say, we're going to see Rosie or Amber tomorrow, he's excited, he's looking forward to it. So it's given him an opportunity to learn, but it's also given him a lot of enjoyment. The best strategies that we've learnt from ABA, I think the number one is to catch them being good or catch Luca being good. So to reinforce positive behaviour rather than constantly focusing on the negative, which we tend to do as parents. It's also given us strategies to help us when things seem to get a little out of control or we've got behaviour problems, we've got systems that we can put in place. I think the other thing where it's really helped us is we've been able to apply those strategies also to Luca's little brother, which has, as a family, helped us immensely. Apart from the obvious first hurdle of finances, I would say the most difficult aspect of running an ABA program is the business side of it, I guess. I see it as running a small business, so you're recruiting, finding therapists that suit your team and have the right skills, scheduling and time management initially were quite a tricky thing, fitting in therapy hours into already busy schedule. It is a change to your lifestyle, and that's probably initially the hardest thing to get used to. For us, the ABIA has been a huge help. We've accessed their library for resources, which has saved us a lot of time and money. Our therapists have done their training courses. There are training courses available to us, and also teachers and early education teachers have access or can access their training courses. And the other really valuable service that they provide is the therapist list, which is a big challenge for families to find therapists and to know where to look. That's a really great resource as well. I'd say don't try and do it all on your own. Don't try and do it by yourself. Join an organisation such as ABIA, get your friends and family on board, and start the journey as a team so that you've got people to bounce ideas off and you don't feel that you're doing it on your own. Secondly, I would say be prepared that not everybody is going to know about ABA, and you might encounter situations where there is misunderstandings. You need to be prepared for that and not to let that waver you in the path that you've chosen. And thirdly, I'd say you will be overwhelmed a little bit at the beginning perhaps, but it is so worth it when you start seeing the results, which you virtually do on a weekly basis. Stick with it because it's definitely a long-term prospect and it is worthwhile. Good boy. You did a really great job.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.